I will be in for the debate coverage, though, guys, which we are doing.
Oh, yes, folks. How did I forget to do this in the fun half?
No, I messed up your great joke by getting too eager to plug it.
Yep.
So this is you can still blame me.
Was the missing
Tomorrow
Asa
night. Now, we probably shouldn't have announced that Asa Hutchinson's not going to be there because obviously that's going to hurt some numbers. But
Burgum's going to be there, though.
Burgum's going to be there.
Burgumentum.
Christie, Nikki Haley, Vivek like cake is going to be there, throwing down some debate styles and making some points styles. And of course, Ron DeSantis.
The sanctimonious.
This could literally be the last debate for Ron DeSantis.
Yeah.
Because, you're looking for a trajectory, and his trajectory is really like something like, like we've dropped the kids off in the pool, if you will, and somebody flush it and it's going down the drain.
Well, I got to say, too, there was an article in Politico yesterday when you weren't in that big money donors are giving up and they feel like Trump's lead is too insurmountable and they're kind of backing out from some of the alternatives, which
I'm really sorry to hear that. None of these guys had, it is amazing. And the amazing thing is that the funny thing is the Democrats have a much deeper bench at this point than the Republicans. And there's a similar dynamic for different reasons, I think, in terms of there's some worry about Biden's age. Obviously, you look at the polls, there's a lot of Democrats who would rather a different nameless Democrat to run. The problem is when you put that Democrat in there, you're going to also have some hesitation about any given Democrat. Mm-hmm. It's always better to have a generic, because nobody's complaining about the generic one because their projection of who that person is always going to be better. But, and I don't want people to misunderstand me. I'm not endorsing any of these candidates, but if you're a sort of Democratic partisan and you're looking at people like Shapiro or Whitmer or Newsom or, I guess maybe even Pritzker there's a lot of legit Democratic sort of governors who could run for president. I don't think they're going to do it this year, but I think they're going to do it in 2028. Not to mention, by 2028, there's going to be sort of some more progressives who are going to have more experience in the... Mm-hmm. Oh, do we have that AOC clip? Whatever happened to that?
We played it yesterday.
Oh, you did? Oh, shoot. Okay.
But yeah, so it's the B/C team. In fact, it's the D team, right? That we're going to be covering this debate over on. But
what's the A team?
Yeah, the A team
what's the B team of Republicans running?
Yeah,
I guess maybe a couple of senators, but honestly, what? The Josh Hawley,
and they're odious and not particularly
charismatic.
Yeah, charismatic.
Speaking of one of those, the fascist one, Tom Cotton tweeted out a defense of Bob Menendez, saying that he's basically now calling on him to resign. So it just goes to show what their populism really entails. But it makes it more fun for our coverage because there's very little stakes, and we just get to mock these people for trying.
Well, and it's also, let's be clear too, and we'll do this tomorrow with Tim Pool. They're going to present ideas that represent, to the extent that the Republican Party has any ideas. There's very much like the dog catching the car. That clip you played yesterday in response to John Kennedy. The woman from Rand, is it? Or I don't know.
Rand Corporate. Yeah, she was a Rand economist. Yeah.
Who said, your 21 years of cutting trillions of dollars of taxes to any issue that we have now, we've done it your way. I would love the opportunity to do it where we give a child tax credit for 21 years and measure outcomes you could measure those outcomes like health, well-being, educational achievement, level of poverty. I mean, like nutrition. You can go on and on.
Mm-hmm.
And the anti-Trump forces in the Republican Party, their policies are both like odious and completely depleted. Like they don't even pretend anymore, because they can't say like child poverty is bad. We need to do X, Y, or Z to solve it, because we just had an unbelievably perfect, successful, natural experiment with getting rid of child poverty. Because it used to be back like 20 years ago, everybody's concerned about child poverty. What are we going to do? We don't disagree on the problems. We disagree on the solutions. Mm-hmm. Democrats just want to throw money at it. Republicans want to teach a man to fish. They want to do it in a place where there's no water. But that was what the debate always was. And Republicans got their tax cuts, their massive tax cuts, and a natural experimentation with how to defeat child poverty, for instance. 1 year, we cut it in half in 1 year. More. It went from like 16% to something like 5%, and then when we got rid of it, it went back up to 12%. And it's going to take another year probably till it gets back up to 16%. And so there's no argument as to like anymore of like, we're just arguing about, methodology. They're stating their goals, and they're trying to hide behind still some of these, Chris Christie under the debt. There's this hypothetical, theoretical thing that's going to befall us that's going to be horrible. And in which case, what we have to do is impose horrible, cruel policies now to avoid the hypothetical, never seem to materialize doom that we're protecting us from.
Yeah.
That's the entirety of like their thing. And so the value is not just to make fun of these people, but to show in a moment where there's no Trump there, where there's no shiny distraction, that the Republican Party is, essentially either fully reactionary or just incredibly like sort of oligarchic in their attitude. Like they don't even pretend. So tune in, even though Asa Hutchinson won't be there.
Yes.
More time for Doug Burgum.